Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Star Wars.
You really went for the gusto there.
Yeah,
I'm
you
Ryan, and I like Star Wars.
I'm Dan, and I'm coming around on sand. Getting better. And this is the Deck the
Hallmark
Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow, hello, everybody. It all comes down to this.
Force Friday,
Force Fridays.
the last one of 2024.
That's right.
Until the
Because,
preview show, yep.
listen, the Dune Bays aren't going to Dune Bay themselves.
Doom Bays aren't going to Doom Bay themselves. You gotta actively
I've
Doom
always
Bay.
said that.
How about
yeah.
Hallmark Plus just launching like next week? It's pretty crazy.
Isn't that wild?
You want to know what Sleepy Kitty Paws threw at me yesterday as I was perusing
What'd she throw at you?
the X? It's Twitter. They're
you.
doing on Hallmark Plus, they're releasing 3 more of what's the movie with all the family and Cherry Lane. 3 more Cherry Lanes this year, and then another new movie series of 3 movies.
They're doing
At least 6 movies.
3 more Cherry Lane
That's what
movies?
she said.
I was clamoring.
Good grief, man.
Cherry Lane.
Oh my gosh.
Cherry Lane. It's
Yeah.
pretty exciting. I do think it's
Pre-mad.
going to be a pretty fun holiday season, though. Even though Hallmark Plus throws things for a loop, but we also got that show, the holiday day, whatever.
I'm excited about holidays.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yes.
That's the Aaron Cahill vehicle, correct?
Yeah, with Ian Harding, who's a national treasure.
He's a
Goes
national
to Christmas always.
Very excited to be talking about Star Wars, though. This is a big one. This is what everybody was waiting for.
Revenge of the
you,
Sith.
You watch 4, 5, 6, and you're like, it's done, right? They're not going to do any more. And then they come at you with 1.
1, 2, 3.
And you know it's going to end up on 3.
This is
How
the
are they gonna-
completion of the saga.
That's exactly
as
right.
it stands, and as George Lucas envisioned it. This is it for the saga of Star Wars. This completes the story as he wanted to tell.
It's almost like George Lucas knew Hallmark Plus was going to launch, and that this
That's
would
right.
perfectly fit into the schedule.
Yeah, he was like, they're going to launch something called Hallmark Plus.
Thanks,
a
Disney.
long time ago in a galaxy far away, George Lucas was like, one day there's going to be a podcast that primarily covers Hallmark movies. And
They're gonna throw in the Star Wars.
After Christmas in July, they're going to have some emptiness on Fridays. I think I need 6 movies.
They'll probably do
6.
Fast and Furious first.
Yes. Yeah, probably.
We're coming up on the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
That's wild,
Yeah.
huh? Isn't time a terrifying social construct?
Oh, man, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
Ryan, what's something that you think about a lot that you're like, that can't be that far away, and then it was?
Well, Christmas. And then every time I tell Alyssa that I'm going to stop buying toys for a while and then don't do that, it always feels like it goes really quick.
I can see
What
now
about
that
you?
my question wasn't good.
It's a bad
what
question,
I meant
yeah.
was
Ryan's still
you're
12
like,
years old.
like
There's nothing we can do about that.
no, like Star Wars Revenge of the Sith being 20
And you
years
like, it
old,
can't be that old.
It can't be that.
I
Is
know
there
mine.
something? Okay, go.
I have a marker for mine. It's Train Drops of Jupiter.
How old
the
is
song-
Train Drops of Jupiter?
Train Drops
an
of Jupiter
answer.
is 23 years old.
It can't be.
It's 20.
It's not possible.
It's older than Don't Stop Believing was when Train Drops of Jupiter came out. So like that is
Okay.
what dates me to
I'm
make
looking
me
at-
old.
So
I believe you wholeheartedly.
how
but that
old was
just feels-
Don't Stop Believing when Drops of Jupiter came out?
Like 18 years. It's currently 20. Like Train Drops of Jupiter came out in 01. I was a senior in high school. And the idea that song is 23 years old is crazy to me.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And I don't know why, but that song is the mark of time for me.
That's
It is
fair.
so weird. I'm not like a train stan over
You're
here.
a train junkie, though.
But
I mean, we made it to
sometimes-
the Milky Way.
Yeah.
and
you sure
yeah.
did. You
the lights
sure.
are all faded. There's nothing we could do.
Macaroni in a trash bag. This is not a rainbow in the rainbow colors. It's Train.
I got you.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
like the Power Rangers movie to answer your question,
my
Brandon.
gosh,
I
this
now
guy with the
understand.
Power
It was-
Rangers.
It was 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
95,
Holy moly.
man. Yeah,
And I
Man.
still haven't seen
Actually,
it.
Come
That's
on
crazy.
and take a free ride. You know what I mean?
Oh, look at you, man. That's actually really made me happy. That was great.
You're welcome.
Come on
They're
and
rollerblading
take
down
free
the
ride.
The
street
first 8
there.
minutes of that film, I mean, the whole thing's immaculate, but the first 8, I just want to live in that first 8 minutes for as much as possible.
And I think you have. I think you have.
Yeah. You know what?
I think
Your
you have.
backwards cap proves that you
I
can
think
do anything you
have.
put your mind
You're
to.
buying toys
I'm
and you're talking wrestling and you're in your 30s. You've done it.
I'm still looking like 25 when I wear the cap backwards.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm okay. Cool.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And after this, you're gonna go
Thank you,
rollerblading,
Ryan.
and it's gonna be awesome.
Thank you. So, Brand, how does this work for you on the X? You because you don't post. What is it? Just like a Orlando Magic like bot account, and like you look at other stuff.
My personal X account is 100% Orlando
Yeah,
Magic.
of course it is.
It's 100. Like if you go, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it really is. So like that's why like don't go follow. It's not.
Don't follow.
Don't
So
follow.
don't follow. for
This is
Brady.
it's
Don't follow
literally
situation.
just for me, so that I can go back and be like, that was a great
You
dunk.
can follow me for an occasional string of political tweets and then nothing for a while, and then an occasional tweet about my kids. It's an occasional
maybe a
tweet about a
movie,
movie.
maybe a
I do a
movie.
movie review from time to time. I would say I'm at 30 tweets a year. I'm super active out there, twice a month, 3 times a month tweeting. You know me,
I think that's the way to be.
burning up the phone.
Brand, I really regret not meeting Penny Hardaway. I probably should have done.
You
that.
should have done that,
Yeah.
dude. And
You know, he
then
and JC Chazé are starting a new business. It's going to be. I'm
Penny
just
Hardaway's
kidding.
a very successful
Yes,
college
he's
basketball coach.
incredibly
And that's not to
successful.
say that JC Chazé isn't
It was a
successful.
cheap shot, and I knew it as soon as I said it, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Penny.
once you told
He's
me
a
that was a
successful
thing.
recruiter and payer of players. He's unbelievable at it.
Once I found out that Fanatics Fest was a thing, I was upset that I wasn't going. It looks great. Paolo was
No,
there.
Come
It
on.
looked like,
a
I
dream.
didn't get to go, but it looked like it was awesome. And like, I don't know how many more chances I'll have to meet Penny Hardaway. So
They did first take there, like in the lobby, and the sound was awful. It was great.
it was. Have you met? I mean, what's your biggest Magic meet, Brand? Like,
Oh,
who's
he's met a bunch of them. Don't get him started. We don't have time for this.
During our last great run in the late 2000s, I frequented a TV show called Magic Overtime with Dante and Galante. I would go on there and I would sing songs for Orlando Magic players.
I think you've told me this story.
And at one point, they brought me to a live event with season ticket holders, and I was on stage, and they would bring the players on the stage, and I'd have to sing it to them and to their face.
Yeah. And I'm sure that went well for them.
I'm sure.
I want that video so badly.
It's out there. I have it somewhere.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's great.
I saw
And
Penny
hey,
Hardaway.
Falling for Basketball's back. Falling for
Basketball's back.
We're back.
Off-season edition. Thank you for pointing that out.
I saw
back,
Penny
baby.
Hardaway play live for our country at the Olympics.
How about
Oh,
you?
in Atlanta?
Dream Team 2. That's
How
exactly
about
right.
You.
Sure did.
It's pretty great. Yeah, but
I was in the rafters of the Georgia Dome, but I did see it. Yes.
Number 6 in your Olympic program, number 1 in your Magic program.
That's right.
Penny Hardaway.
Well, Shaq was also on that team and still with the Magic. So
Dream Team 2 is underrated. It
number
doesn't get talked
2
about.
in your Magic program, Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Number 1 in your program, number 2 in your heart if you're a Magic fan. Yeah.
Love Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 3. Let's talk about it. It's the natural progression. Star Wars is now a Disney property. Disney is a sponsor of the Orlando Magic. Let's
Orlando
go.
Disney. How you like me now? That's right.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, originally premiered at the old Cannes Festival.
Cons?
Yeah.
Cannes on May 15th, 2005. And then
How long of a standing ovation did it get?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna
that's
look
a
it
good-
up.
Look
You
that
keep going,
up while
yeah.
I do this. And then May 19th, 2005, everywhere else, and it went a little something like this. So we're 3 years deep into the Clone Wars. We kick things off with the Jedi Knights, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. They are attempting the galaxy's most dangerous rescue mission, saving Supreme Chancellor Palpatine from General Grievous. They find the Chancellor, but oh look, Dooku's in the house. Cue lightsaber duel. I think earliest
Earliest ever,
lightsaber
yeah.
duel in the history of the lightsaber duels. Obi-Wan is knocked out, and so it's up to Anakin to fight him off, which he does. And he has Dooku cornered. And after some convincing from the Chancellor, he kills Dooku despite Dooku not having a weapon on him. That's against the Jedi code. He immediately is like, what have I done? And the Chancellor's like, listen, who can really say what happened? It's an absolute mystery. You did what you had to do. Now you'd think that that'd be enough excitement for one day, but no. Grievous captures them, and it's up to R2-D2 to pull off a miracle escape with lots of beep-beeps and lots of boo-boops. Anakin leads them to safety back, and just like that, we're all happy. Everything's good, and that's the end of the movie. It's not, though. Back on solid ground, Anakin's reunion with Padme is in full force. She reveals that she is a preggers, and this makes Anakin very happy, but also he freaks out because he keeps having nightmares about her dying. This guy has crazy dreams. He chats with Yoda, who is basically like, stop being so clingy. It's a bad look. Anakin's not having it, though. Anakin's like, I don't think Yoda has my best interests at heart. Meanwhile, Palpatine's sweet-talking Anakin into thinking that the Jedi Council needs him more than he needs them. They're definitely going to make you master. It's a sure thing. Spoiler alert, it's not. They don't. They say you're in, but you're not in. You're a fringe situation. Anakin, not thrilled by this. It goes from bad to worse very quickly when he's asked to spy on his pal, the Chancellor. It's very awkward. He's like, I don't think this is the best idea. Things get more tense when Anakin finds out that from Padme, that the Republic's getting a little too corrupt for her taste. He's like, as if, you separatists. It's a good conversation. Palpatine invites Anakin to a bubble show, hence the PG-13 rating, for a private chat, and gets right to sowing that seed of doubt about the Jedi Council and tells him a little old story that he's like, you're going to want to hear this. Once upon a time, there was somebody that was a Sith Lord who could stop people from dying. Let me ask you this, Anakin. Is there anybody in your life that you'd like to not die? And he's like, son of a gun. This is crazy.
The world?
I never.
This might be something that could be useful to me. The Jedi Council sends Obi-Wan to deal with Grievous, while Anakin is left feeling like the kid who did not get picked at the dodgeball game. I'm not talking about myself. I was always picked first. I know it doesn't look like it. I was a very sought-after dodgeball player, unlike Anakin Skywalker. But he makes nice with Obi-Wan, who tells him to hang out here and be patient. He goes to talk to Padme, and he tells her that he's frustrated with his desire for more. It doesn't seem like a good desire, but also he has found a way to save him from his dreams becoming reality. Padme, I have dreams that you're dying. I'm going to make sure that you don't die. And she's like, cool, man. She doesn't encourage him to talk to somebody.
Nah.
No, like, hey, go to therapy. It's like, okay, just have a good one. In a shocking twist, Anakin discovers that Palpatine is a Sith Lord. But instead of taking him,
Sith Lord.
I know. But instead of taking him down, he's like, hey, this could be useful for me saving Padme. He does tell Mace Windu, though, about what he has learned.
Mace Windu.
What?
Moss Windu.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah. You thought it was Mace?
Yeah.
I thought it was too, honestly.
I've literally
Moss
always
Windu.
said Mace Windu.
It's Moss Windu. Cool.
I've always heard Mace Windu.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
I mean,
have too.
maybe I'm wrong now that I've got both of you saying that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's Moss, but now I'm not sure anymore.
And it's like, hey, you should let me help. I'm pretty powerful. And he refuses. He goes to confirm what Anakin has told him for himself. He shows up to arrest Palpatine, and he goes into full Sith mode, his face looking real gross, and gets into a lightsaber battle with Mace Windu. And just as he has it all under control, Anakin shows up to help Palpatine. He helps Palpatine. Anakin cuts off Windu's hand, and then Palpatine uses magic fingers to launch him out the window. It's not what it sounds like. Anakin feels bad for about 5 seconds, and then he immediately pledges himself to the dark side by saying, I pledge myself to the dark side.
To the Republic for which it stands.
He he does this in exchange for being able to help Padme's life not end. Palpatine names him Darth Vader and is immediately sent on his first mission. Kill children. Nothing like being thrown into the deep end. Order 66 is issued, which causes all the clones to turn on the Jedis. Luckily, Obi-Wan survives this attack. Anakin then decides to visit Padme, tells her that he is now all about that Chancellor, no Jedi. He tells her that he's been given an important mission and heads off to finish the Separatist leaders, and boy, does he. Obi-Wan watches the CCTV footage. You always got to erase that stuff if you're going to kill a bunch of people. Yeah. And figures out that Anakin has gone full dark side. And he goes to tell Padme. Padme cannot believe it. So she goes to confront Anakin herself. Despite her pleas, he tries to choke her out and then throws her on the ground. Obi-Wan walks down and is like, yo, back off, bro. And the two pals are no longer pals, and they have a dramatic lightsaber duel, as you do, right by Lava Riverbank. Anakin's limbs get sliced off. He's left burning by the lava. It's a tough breakup. It's tough. We hate it. While all that's happening, at the same time, Yoda shows up and has a bit of a battle with Palpatine in the old Senate Chamber Brawl, which I believe they're going to have one of those at the next WWE pay-per-view. The Senate Chamber Brawl.
Brother, at the next Senate Chamber Brawl.
Yoda realizes that he is not going to win this match, and he escapes. Feeling that he failed, he exiles himself. He's probably going to go to a swamp or something like a loser.
There you go.
Obi-Wan gets Padme back on the ship, and they're able to bring her back to safety, and they're able to get the babies, and they are safe. She names them Luke and Leia, and then she dies.
She's dead.
Deuces. Anakin gets saved by Palpatine after being burned to a crisp, and he's still fighting for his life. He's still breathing somehow. So he is rebuilt into the Darth Vader that we know and love. He learns that Padme is dead, and he is basically blamed for it, and he lets out a super sad no! But Palpatine goes and shows him something that might cheer him up. Somebody's constructing that might look a little familiar. A little Death Star situation on Naboo.
Jiminy Glick.
Let me ask you this.
Like a little Death Star situation.
Let me ask you this, Palpatine. On Naboo, Padme's funeral is held. Bail Organa, a name I definitely knew. Didn't need to look it up.
No.
I knew it. He adopts Leia.
Southern Side has a great Bail Organa.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, it's good.
He adopts Leia, and Obi-Wan takes Luke and gives it to his aunt and uncle in Tatooine. As the sun sets, we see Obi-Wan leave, and then the family with Luke looking out into the desert as the sun sets. And that, my friends, was Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
We did it.
What'd you find out about the old Windu?
I could find... Oh, no, I looked up the standing ovation thing. Could not find it. I'm sure if I looked further, I could. It did get a standing ovation. It is not in the top 10, which I also looked up. I did already know the number one because I remember it when it making news when it came out. Does anybody know number one?
Brokeback Mountain.
No.
That was my
Why
guess.
was that both of our guesses?
It's Pan's Labyrinth. 20.
I would have never got there.
22 minutes. 20. That's an episode of Seinfeld.
There's nothing I hate more than
It's
this.
the silliest thing in-
It got 20 minutes. No one wants it. Everybody's lying.
Yeah,
no one likes
but
it.
Pan's Labyrinth's a freaking great movie. If you've not seen it, it's a great. Yeah, we got the time. Yeah, absolutely. But like Indiana Jones, go ahead. No, you guys go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. This is good. Yeah. That was 15 seconds. You want to go 22 minutes?
That's so long. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break down Star Wars Episode 3. Here on
Hey,
Take the Hallmark.
Take the Hallmark. Yeah, absolutely. That was a 22-minute break, so
If you factor in commercials,
just break it. Yeah,
we just beat Pan's Labyrinth.
That's
That's right. We just beat it.
Suck on that, Pan. Why don't you go do your labyrinth?
You've never seen that movie. There's no way.
I have not seen it.
You guys both have you? Yeah, Yeah, friend of the pod, Doug
I have
Jones
not
is
seen
the
it.
monster.
Friend of the pod, Pan's Labyrinth.
That's right.
Pan.
You've not seen it? Have you seen it, Aaron?
No, I haven't seen it.
You guys are all heathens. It is, but it's like a fairy tale kind of gone wrong, but still beautiful and wonderful. It's amazing. You need to go watch this movie. It's
Let's
so
talk
good.
Star Wars Episode 3, The Sith. It's getting his revenge. Let's share our shots on this movie. This is a big one. It's a big one to talk about. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Ryan, what'd you think about Star Wars Ep 3?
Yeah, I was really negative last week, and I felt bad about it for the last couple days or so.
That's on you for feeling bad. Your job's to just,
well, no, I just thought I was overly negative. It might have been the NSYNC scene getting cut thing, Dan. You might have hit that nail on that head. I'm here to tell you that I thought this movie was really, really good. I saw this film in theaters, and I owned it on physical media. I don't think I still do anymore. So I've seen it probably approximately 3 or 4 times before this, but I remembered next to nothing about it other than lava fight and really like the big moments of the last 15, 20 minutes. This movie is like really well balanced. I think there's a very nice mix between really good action and really more intimate character-to-character moments, and I feel like the blend on those two things really works. Hayden Christensen, I'm not going to tell you he was good, but I'm going to tell you he was noticeably better here.
Noticeably better.
Yeah.
Noticeably better.
And it's like the biggest travesty, as we've said, I think all 3 weeks, or definitely the last 2 since he's been on our screens, is that he's really a pretty solid actor.
Yeah.
And so they really did him wrong here. Like, and so again, it wasn't maybe a 6.5, 7 out of 10, but he was a 0 last week. To that point, what helps is that Anakin and Obi-Wan actually seem to like each other for the parts during the film when they're supposed to.
It's weird
like
how
each
that
other.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes the lava fight all the more impactful because you're supposed to be upset that they used to be friends. We used to be friends a long time ago. This feels more in line tone-wise with like a lot of the Disney Plus stuff that has come out Star Wars-wise over the last couple years, and I personally think that's a good thing. Palpatine slowly swaying Anakin to the dark side. I like that. I thought the trajectory worked. I thought all of that was good. Pacing's good. Sam L finally gets his chance to shine.
Yep.
That's great. They butcher Padme here. All of the goodwill they built up for the first 2 films in terms of a strong, independent female character for her, I don't think that hits the mark here. I'm sure I'll talk more about that in the Wait What. But ultimately, I think episode 2 is why the sequel trilogy is looked so poorly upon, because there's things to like in episode 1, even if it's just those 2 big set pieces, but those 2 big set pieces take up about half the runtime of the film. And then I think this film is really good to the point where I'm contemplating putting it ahead of Jedi. So that's I got to pray about it for a minute or two,
but you got to give that list at some point
When
today.
are you going to give it?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing it. 5, 3, 6, 1, 4, 2. I like
5,
this movie
3,
a lot.
6, 1, 4, 2.
Yeah.
4 being that low is just an absolute travesty, but I get it.
I love this movie.
It was great.
I thought that this movie was phenomenal. I thought that per minute on screen, nonstop action. It's John Williams never put the little conductor pin down. It was just nonstop. It was phenomenal. And I couldn't believe it. I've seen all of these movies one time. So I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care. I don't care. All these people that are like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I don't care. I don't care. This movie.
Do you care,
These
Brandon?
movies mean nothing to me.
That's right.
I love this movie. I thought this movie was phenomenal. It was thrilling. I never got bored, which I think might be the first time I can say it about a Star Wars movie. Never once was bored throughout this movie. The biggest gripe I have with this movie is a gripe I have with all of episodes 1, 2, and 3 is the CGI, especially in the battle scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan, is so over the top with it hurt my eyeballs. It was so over the top and tough. I don't know how you do a lava fight scene practically, but I would like for them to have tried because it hurts. It hurts so badly. Aside from that, this movie rules, and I'm about to really pee some people off. This is my favorite Star Wars. This is my favorite one. I had an absolute blast from start to finish. Sorry, haters. Come at me, bro. Again, I don't care.
Do you care?
So I'm not going to be like, well, 5 was it was 5 comparatively. There are parts of 5 that I found boring. Give me 3, give me 5, give me 6, give me.
Then you go 1, 4, 2.
Give me 4, give me 2.
Yeah.
Hey, Hayden.
Brand at deckthehallmark.com, Mother Gooses. Come at me.
Yeah.
I
Hayden,
don't care. Yeah.
We got this great idea. We want you to fight on lava. We're gonna
Bring in the lava. Bring it in.
So that take doesn't surprise me. When I was watching this movie, I was like, Brand's going to have this at 1 because it's 10 out of 10 laser beams. It's 4.
Gosh, you
it's
know
5,
me so well.
It's 5 out of 5 cotton candies. It's like whatever the entertainment is, it's off the charts.
But also in it's not just the battle scenes; it's the conversations that I've
I
also
do think
found thrilling.
dialogue-wise,
Oh,
it's
listen.
infinitely better than the last.
We'll
two.
get into that. I think so. I saw this movie in the theaters on opening night when midnight shows were still a thing.
Yep.
And I remember watching this movie and going, well, he closed it out as good as he could have closed it out. And then I literally never watched it again. And the reason I didn't watch it again, because I was like, he closed it out as well as he could have. The prequels all got better. This is as good as he could have done considering the circumstances. But anybody that wants to talk anything more about this movie, pump the brakes. I'm not having it. I just, like, we still have George Lucas without any restraint. And that's not untrue. He still is completely unrestrained. He's all digital, which is a mess. He's got a script that isn't, I don't know if his script's better. In fact, I would say if you read it off the page, it wouldn't be. But the actors are starting to realize, hey, it's me on the line out there. It's not Lucas on the line. I'm going to do what I want with this.
We got Lucas on the line.
And that is, we wish, on our best day. And I think that goes a long way. So I had not seen it in almost 20 years. This movie rules. This movie is so good.
Like the movie.
I don't know if that's
Star Wars.
It's not as big of a deal, but
It's hard to really encapsulate how great this movie is. Number one, visually, yes. The reason that, I don't want to spoil it, I've been waffling, Bran, on this or Empire Strikes Back.
really,
Whoa!
And
I don't even know who you are
and
anymore.
the reason is because what is Star Wars supposed to be? Empire Strikes Back, I think right now, and this can change week to week, is still number 1 because Empire Strikes Back has nothing wrong. The script is perfect. The direction is perfect. The themes are perfect. The runtime is 2 hours. It is super dark. It ends with everything just completely like you don't know what's going to happen next. A massive twist. It's a better movie. This movie is, I remember watching The Dark Knight, which is the best comic book movie of all time. Send any email you want my way, please do. That movie just never lets go. You start and it's a breakneck pace and it never lets go. This movie starts with killing Christopher Lee and it doesn't stop. Now, is there some dumb dialogue along the way? Yeah, I'll get to it. Is there some bad CGI along the way? Yeah, I'll get to it. Is it overstuffed? Sure. But you know what, bro? This guy built a story in 1977, and it's almost like he realized the first 2 movies didn't get me where I needed to go. I'm going to absolutely just hit bangers here. Like, I don't have to worry about exposition. I don't have to worry about midichlorians. I don't have to worry about, all of these trappings that I had to set up for 2 movies. And boy, does he do it. Palpatine. Ian McDiarmid is better than the dialogue. Ian McDiarmid is great. I can't imagine how good he would have been with good dialogue. Ian McDiarmid is great in this movie. Mace Windu, I think I got conflicting reports, but Google says Mace. So you might be right on that. Mace Windu is unbelievable. Hayden Christensen, markedly improved. And then also, this movie ends a saga better than any, you get the helmet, Darth Vader, but the saga's not about Darth Vader. It's about the story of all of it. Then you get this shot of the sun setting on Tatooine. It is an absolute banger start to finish. Dialogue not as good. George Lucas needed somebody to restrain him. Absolutely. CGI, it's the best any of the prequels look by a mile. It looks, there are scenes where I'm like, this is great. It's still great. But there are other scenes you're like, dude, you could have done some practical stuff. It wouldn't have killed you. So, based on the fact that I don't have any knocks, is this more entertaining than Empire Strikes Back? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
But I don't have anything bad to say about Empire Strikes Back. It's maybe the best sequel of all time. I cannot, in good conscience, put this ahead. But on an entertainment value only, on a how many popcorn buckets out of 5, this movie does rank higher on that scale. It's number 2 overall for me. It's 5, and then it's 3, and then it's 6, and then it's 4, and then it's 1, then it's 2. Really had a great time. Way better than I remember it being.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's the same scale we'll use for the preview episode in January. So
It's going to be nuts.
The popcorn buckets.
It's going to be nuts.
Lightsaber holsters.
Lightsaber AMC popcorn bucket. Yeah.
Let's get to all of those feels. What gave us the feels? Ryan.
I actually have 3. I'll go through them quick. Seeing R2 kick butt in the beginning was great, and it felt like, Dan, to your point, not only is it like we're go from the jump, it also was like R2 kicking butt is fun.
I wrote
Star
down
Wars,
R2 kicks, you know what, in this movie.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote it down. It's unbelievable.
it felt like Star Wars. Nothing last week felt like
You're right.
It was just a boring slog,
Yeah.
and then it was a bad boring slog. To that point, near the end, Yoda just flicking away 2 of Palpatine's guards. I laughed out loud. That was great. But my biggest feel happens 5 seconds in. The series is called Star Wars. The opening crawl starts with war.
That's right.
Exclamation point.
Yep.
Well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Throughout the prequels here, I've been underwhelmed by the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm like, I don't get all the hubbub about old Ben. I prefer old Ben over young Ben. It all kind of came together, though, for me when he walks down the old walkway there in Lava Land, and they have their conversation together.
Yeah.
I thought for the first time, I was like, this actually feels right, and it feels real. And up until this point, his character just never really felt real to me. I was like, I understand that Obi-Wan Kenobi is important and blah, 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 but it never quite felt real. And in this particular moment, it's still real to me, dang it.
Can I tell you this?
It was a great moment, a great scene, and the most powerful of the conversations with Obi-Wan, especially in the prequels, by a mile.
If you read the dialogue off the page of that scene, it's atrocious.
I'm sure.
It's bad.
I could buy that.
But because that was what was shocking to me as I was watching that scene, and I was like, this is really good. And then I went back because I missed something I thought Obi-Wan said, and I'm like, dude, if you read this on the page, it would be episode 2, episode 1 bad. But they have just finally gone, you know what? You can't hire me to do another one of these. I'm actually going to lean in, and I'm not going to take direction. I'm just going to do it the way that I'm an actor. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes all the difference in the world for Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Dana?
I have 2. One is completely personal. I told Brian this story. We, at the midnight premiere of this movie, it's all Star Wars fans. I mean, they're all, I didn't dress up, as you can imagine, but a lot of people did dress up.
Had you had this, though?
Yeah, had
you had
this Jedi robe, I would have dressed up for sure.
Which on camera, philo.tv/DTH looks a whole lot like your regular black t-shirt.
It does look like that.
It's not, though. He's
There's
got wings.
Angels in the outfield.
Just do the angels in the outfield. Yeah, now they'll know.
That'd be you all movie long.
Yeah.
Just so people know.
So I got there. It was a midnight show, no assigned seats. You got to get there early. So I got there a couple hours early. I got the seat that I wanted. And right before, I was there with my uncle, who's like showed me and my dad, I believe, was there. Like all the people that showed me Star Wars my whole life. It was a really fun time. But I remember right before it started, there's a dude who walked in, friend of a friend. I knew him, didn't know him super well. He was a stand-up comic for a while. I went to school with him, but he was older than me. He walks in late.
Big Ted.
Big Ted. We'll call him Big Ted. And he had all that's left is the front row. That's all that's left. So he sits in the front row, and like I was like, oh, there's what's his name, and then I don't even think about him. So in this movie, when Chancellor Palpatine is all pruned up, and then he looks at Anakin and he's like, you'll now be known as Darth Vader. And he says it, and the music like hits the low note, and he says it. Well, I mean, it's completely quiet. It's opening night. It's all Star Wars fans. He says, you'll be known as Darth Vader. And after he says it, my boy in the front row goes, no way! really loud. Like,
What?
Like as a joke, like as a bit.
Oh, okay.
Like you cut the tension with a knife, and front row super fan acts like it's a big twist.
That's funny.
And the theater loved it. The theater loved it. I remember it still.
That's Big Ted.
What a time. He's just like, I'm here. I'm in the front row. I may as well give this a go. And he did it. The second one
He's
is
doing bits.
The second one is undersold in your synopsis. And when I say undersold, I'm not complaining because you had to do the way you did it, but is the fight between Palpatine and Yoda. And the reason it's undersold is because slowly but surely Williams brings back Duel of the Fates. And when he does it, it's the quietest, ha ha. And when he does it, I'm talking full chills, because what you've done is in the first one, it's like, this is the dark side versus the light side. It's good guys, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, bad guys. And the second Duel of the Fates is the duel of Anakin Skywalker's fate. And it is like, holy cow, this is better than this movie ever should be. When that score hits and they're battling in the Senate and we're cutting back to lava, back to Senate, it is like, I was blown away by how much more I enjoyed it than when I saw it the first time. Just crushed it.
Let's take a break.
I love
We'll
it.
come back. We'll get to the way what the hallmark. Here on Deck the Hallmark.
Bum bum. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Man,
Welcome
two of those in an episode, huh?
We're the pans of the podcast. We're the
You got it.
it's time for the way what is where we talk about what is movie. Just go wait what? Ryan.
Yeah, I got several. I'll try to go through them quick. They're the Jedi Council at one point, about midway through the film, they're debating just everything in general, and they bring up the prophecy about Anakin because they're all starting to doubt him just a little bit. And I don't know if it's Mace or Obi-Wan. They're like, well, he's the chosen one. We can't doubt him. And then Yoda's just like, I don't know, maybe I misread that prophecy. You bring that up now?
Yeah. Yeah. Turns out. Well, I mean, to be fair, Yoda said don't do it in episode 1.
Yeah, no, Yoda's been right about everything.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe, I don't know, man, put on your reading glasses or something, or just let us know that maybe you're like, you skimmed
I
it.
may have goofed. It was a goof.
Oh, it's on me.
I goofed.
It's a
Yoda goof.
Palpatine, so he kills Mace Windu. At least finally somebody losing an arm was consequential and like leads to Mace Windu's death. But you know, before
Count
that,
Dooku loses both his arms and dies. So twice
Yeah,
in the
that's
movie.
true.
yeah, maybe he was just like, oh man, maybe this should be a bigger plot point. Like, you know, so
Can't keep handing out arms and
But
hands.
But also, when you
Yeah.
cut it with a lightsaber, there's such a high burn there that it just immediately cauterizes the wound.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
There
you
you
can just keep rolling.
I mean, that's how that science works.
Yeah.
Standing over that. But like, you know, before all that, he gets all ugly. Like, you know, he makes his face look the way he looks now. But like, he looks like the villain from Halloween Town, and he doesn't care at all. That's right. Like he's just like I got a name for you, man, Darth Vader.
That's right.
But so I was good on him, man. He's resilient. Padme. Now this is one of the two. Tell me if I am misinterpreting this. Padme refuses to believe that Anakin
That's right.
could kill a bunch of younglings.
That's right.
Even though, and again, I was mad last week. Doesn't he kill a bunch of younglings in episode 2?
He kills a bunch of people that whole group of people took his mom. And so it's weird, but
a youngling might have slipped in there.
But this is all young Jedis. That Jedi's in training. I think that is the part she's like, there's no way he would do that. That is where I can at least see it. But your point is not like it still stands.
Fair. Maybe the funniest moment of the film is right around that same time. I don't remember the exact deal, but Ben finds out that Padme's pregnant, and he's like, Anakin is the father, isn't he? Well, who else would the father have been,
Come
Ben?
on. I know it's a secret relationship, but be
old
better.
Ben.
You got the Force, man.
So the reason why I think that maybe, especially if you're like all three of us who haven't seen this in a long time, that the people just kind of lump this in with episode 1 and 2 and just assume that it was bad. The high ground was worse than I remembered it. Like Anakin could have just taken like a big step and gotten onto the high ground.
The high ground was really bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense in its own right, but at least in my head, Like, not that this would make sense still, but like Obi-Wan's like way, way high up, and like that's what it works. It doesn't work on either level.
The movie's a visual feast, and I think he gets, you know, the script is such an afterthought to George Lucas. Like, it literally just probably says, and they fight for pages, and then he lets a choreographer figure it out. But it's clear he wants to have a metaphor there of Obi-Wan actually having the higher ground, and then the hubris of Anakin finally taking over. Great, George. I'm happy you landed on that obvious metaphor. Make it real higher ground. Like, take me to higher ground. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, like, dude, do the stuff. Do the thing. You're there. You got unlimited budget. You may as well do it right if you're going to do it.
Teachers keep on teaching, absolutely. And then so that doesn't work. And then, listen, it was amazing to hear James Earl Jones back. The No is awful, right? And it's like,
No, it's real bad.
It's funny now, but I do think that why 20 years later, people just in their heads go, oh, that movie stunk too.
That's right.
It's because the first thing you think of is No.
That's right.
And then last one, and again, this might just be being, uninformed, not paying attention the way I should. Yoda tells Ben that he's going to help him. I think I got this, that he's going to help him commune with Qui-Gon. And then that's never come up since in 20 years. Am I right?
We do Qui-Gon.
Clone Wars?
Doesn't Qui-Gon...
I Googled it. I was like, what is he talking about?
Force like, I think what he's foreshadowing there is, we heard from Jessica, Double Decker Jessica, when she was talking about the Star Wars movies and how, like, for Gen Xers who watch these movies, the thrill of the prequels was like, look at all these Jedi, because you're taught in the first three that there's no Jedi left. Like, there's literally none left. And so the idea that you can see Force ghosts or Jedi ghosts or whatever is just all they have left. It's just common parlance in the first three. In the prequels, you don't see them. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the Force, the ghost Jedis that you see at the end of those other movies. If you see Obi-Wan in Empire Strikes Back, you see those guys. That's what he's talking about there.
That tracks. I rescind that. Wait, what? Bran, kick it to you.
Or we talked about how great R2 is at the beginning of this movie.
But
boy, Obi-Wan, give him a chance to respond. Obi-Wan's over there like, R2, we need it. R2, where you at? R2, bring it up. R2. Like, just let your hand off the trigger. Let him respond. Radio, you gotta give the kid a chance, is all I'm saying. I just, like, my biggest takeaway here is, how does Obi-Wan not see that his boy Anakin is driving the struggle bus? Like, it's pretty clear that Anakin is beginning to have serious doubts and serious problems with the Jedi Council, and Anakin's just kind of like, you'll figure it out. And it just like, it's like, just check on your bro.
What I said is, Obi-Wan, at one point they're sending Anakin to do some mission, and Obi-Wan says, Anakin won't let me down. He never has. And I was like, has he not watched the last 2.5 movies?
Like, watch a movie.
Where Anakin, after winning a pod race, is a series of disappointments, like, over and over again. What do you mean he hasn't let you down? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
It's working.
It's working. Yippee. Listen, when they go to save the Chancellor, if there was ever any doubt that he was a bad guy, that chair is a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
That's a bad guy chair. Good guys don't have that chair. That's a bad guy chair. What's Padme up to all movie? Every time they go to check on her, she's just on the couch, just being like, I wonder what's going on with Annie.
She's pregnant, man.
I understand. But she does
pregnant women are incapable of doing anything.
Apparently.
That's how that works.
This woman who's been incredible.
She's reminiscing about her times in Model UN. And
episode 3, she's reminiscing about the days
at the beach house.
I don't know what she's doing.
Going down to Johnny Rockets. It was very...
She is on or around the couch all movie.
Classic George Lucas here.
She's just staring into CGI space.
She's just looking at it.
Incredibly powerful women. Woman gets pregnant. Amazing. She's like, well, she's got to be near a couch.
Listen, she's got to be.
She's got to be near a couch. There's nothing we can do.
Go far from it.
Yeah.
Last week, talked about how, CGI Yoda with the battle, it made sense.
Yes.
I was more frustrated though this time because the amount of like actual close-up conversations we have with Yoda in episode 3 is way up compared to 2 and 1. And dadgummit, just when he's talking, use the puppet. Use practical Yoda for dialogue scenes. Use CGI Yoda.
Committed to the digital.
It's so much better Practical Yoda is so much better. Practical Yoda is the best Yoda.
He is, and it's Frank Oz and it's puppets. It makes sense. I guess I just have the opposite. I'm a glass half full guy on that, which is look at how much better Yoda looks in Revenge of the Sith than he did in Phantom Menace.
That's true.
Like in Phantom Menace, it is like you could punch straight through him.
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith, he's got like very defined
detail.
wrinkles and detail. And I'm like, you know what? Lucas is really trying to maximize this. Now, would I rather have Puppet Yoda? I would rather have Puppet Yoda.
That's all I'm saying.
But if I'm good, if Lucas is like, I want to make a 100% digital movie, okay, then at least it's getting better. At least
just
you're not using old tech.
Imagine Puppet Yoda saying he might have goofed. Like that would have been so powerful.
That would have been great.
Again, and I guess it's a continuation of, hey, Obi-Wan, check on your boy. But the Jedi crapped the bed with Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
They didn't do right by him. You have this young Jedi who is... The Force is strong with this one.
Midichlorians off the scale.
Let's do a better job of helping him just feel included. You guys, you old guys are all like, he's not ready. He's too young. No wonder he turned on you. He didn't feel appreciated. He didn't feel included. No freaking wonder. You have no one to blame but yourselves,
You
Jedi
think if
Council.
they had included him as a master, he doesn't turn to the dark side?
I think it's possible.
It's literally called Duel of the Fates.
I understand. I think it's possible.
There's no chance here, Brandon.
I understand what the song's called.
Okay.
I'm just
All
saying, let's run it back. Let's let the guy whose Force is strong with him, let's include him in things. That's all I'm saying.
Let's make him a master.
I don't mind them including him more. They definitely ostracize him. There's no doubt about it.
And my last one, and this is it made me literally laugh. Obi-Wan. I believe it's not. It's when he's trying to get away from the clones, and there's a door at some point, and he punches in the code, and the door opens. He goes inside, and then he uses the Force to close the automatic door, which I thought was a hoop.
Selective use of Force is a crime everywhere. Like that is egregious.
Could I open the door with the Force? Yes, but I will use the code.
Yep.
But boom, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Dano?
I don't even think he used the Force there. I think he was doing a bit. The door closes automatically, and he's like, "Watch this."
It's like
I used it. I didn't.
It's like everybody when they walk into grocery stores, and when you're walking up to the automatic doors, you go, "Ha!" That's it. He's just doing a bit.
Oh, has my son been doing that? The pool is like the Jets are bringing him this ball that's floating on the pool, and he's like, "Dad, I'm using the Force." Every time. I wish
same amount of Force as Obi-Wan for sure.
I wish every meeting I was in ended as quickly as the Jedi Council meetings. They have never more than one thing on the agenda, and as soon as they decide by popular vote, they shut it down, and I love it. It's like, so he won't be master. Great. We'll see you guys next week. Even on the Zoom ones where they're Zooming, they got all of them digital. It's like, do we do this yet? Palpatine's up to something. All right, send Anakin out. These 3-minute micro meetings, that's my life. That's all I want in life, is to not be in a long meeting where we're doing other things. I think I feel really, really good about that. Early in the movie, Anakin and Obi-Wan are on a ship that is going down. The ship's going down, and Anakin is going to try to crash land it into a planet. They're going through the atmosphere. Obi-Wan looks at him, who is notoriously not a pilot, looks at him and says, "Do you know how to fly this thing?" And Anakin says, "Under the circumstances, I'd say the ability to pilot this thing is irrelevant." No, it is not. After he says it's irrelevant if I can fly this thing, he then shouts out 5 different specific pilot instructions to prep this thing for a crash landing. If it's me or Rye Guy or Bran, we're tumbling and then we're burning up in a pile of smoke. It is, ask Sully. Ask Sully if it matters if you can pilot when the engines stop working. Buddy, you can't be like, it's irrelevant. Hey, can you hit the main thruster, the gear over here? We're going to flip this thing down. It still matters, bro. That's on George Lucas, but I'm still blaming him. It is what it is. This is maybe just a question. Has there ever been anyone later to the apprenticeship for the dark side game than Count Dooku? Count Dooku is an apprentice to be a Sith Lord. He's 82 years old. That's not
I've been giving this some thought. I think I might take up as a hobby.
I want to take up woodworking. What do you think? I think I want to be a barber. Like, Christopher Lee is 82 years old. He's not the Sith Lord. He is an apprentice because that's how that works. It's going to be like, can I be a Sith Lord? He's like, well, you got 6 hours of training left. Beep. You're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. He's the oldest apprentice ever. That was a tough part.
I'm an intern.
Yeah. Can I tell you the dumbest sentence in the history of sentences?
Wow.
Padme is going to go find Anakin on Mount Doom. Sorry, Lord of the Rings fans or whomever that is from. She's like, I'm going to go fly my pregnant self to Mount Doom. And Obi-Wan's like, you just please don't go. And she looks at him dead serious, like it's not improv, and goes, C-3PO is going to take care of me. What? Who? The guy that's always dismembered by the end of the movie? Who's just being like, by Jove, they've done it again. That guy is going to be, there's lava involved. C-3PO could get you out of a translation jam. That's about it. Yeah. She's like, listen, don't worry about me. C-3PO's got me. No, he doesn't.
He's nowhere to be found.
He does. Yeah. She gets there. You can't find him. Can't find him. Nothing you can do. And then also, something happened with the contractors on the Death Star because it is taken a lot, like, it takes a very short amount of time to go from we have these plans in episode 2 to we have the framework of the Death Star. It's built. And then Luke Skywalker is how old in New Hope? 17, 16? The Death Star is completed. Why did it take no time at all to get it put up in the sky, which I would assume is the hardest part, and then so long to complete it and make it fully operational? Don't know that one. That's a way what for me.
It's time for Star or Wars. This is where we talk about things, whether or not they're stars or wars. Ryan?
That was a good lead in, Brand, because I feel like this one could fall under either Star or Wars.
It really can.
Yeah, there's a few what ifs that have come out about this film. I think they're all substantiated to some degree. I think the biggest one is that Jar Jar was going to be a Sith Lord.
If he would have been, it would have been great.
I don't know if it would have worked.
No, it doesn't work, but thinking about it is fun.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And then the other big one is that I don't know if it was a draft or it was just ideas that didn't quite make the page, or if there was, and then they just changed course. But there are versions of this film where Padme has a lot more agency, does not die of a broken heart. There's one report where she tries to kill Anakin, and that would have made this film that we all really, really, really like a whole lot better, because Bran, as you just said, Dan, you touched on it too, like, and I said it in my hot take, they just totally whiffed on her here. Like, and it's not even like the material for Natalie Portman wasn't good. She rises above the material more often than not in these films. It's just like they didn't give her anything to work with, and it's a real miss for the character. There have been very, very unsubstantiated reports that there might be a Disney Plus in the thing in Padme's future. I don't know. Maybe I started that rumor. Who knows? But
here.
Let's do it. Give her a lightsaber. Let's save the Republic. She's force sensitive. Let's do the whole thing. But they should have done Padme better in episode 3.
I 100% agree, and that leads me to my wars. I think there was shady doings in the case of Padme. Dr. Robot comes out and says there's nothing medically wrong with her. She's just lost a will to live.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't, like, you don't just die.
The love of her life went dark.
Something shady's going on there. I think there's something shady going on there. Somebody wants her dead. I tend to believe that had she maybe had some better care, she'd still be with us today.
I wish at some point they'd have written in the expanded universe that she wasn't really dead, and then that way when she could have been in the new 3, which would have been a lot of fun.
It would have been great.
That would have been
because that's just like losing the will to live doesn't kill you that quick, at least.
Well,
if you don't have anything medically wrong, we're good to go.
Age. I think you hear all the time about these older couples
for sure.
Dying of a broken heart.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That's tough.
It was just a big mess.
And when you have the babies, that like for any parents, you have the baby and you're like, this is now like at least now I have some. I don't know. It just all seemed very shady. Is all I'm saying. It seemed very shady. They ruined
a really good character arc.
And there was I don't know, maybe some better care.
Yeah. Mine is wars because Uncle Owen fought numerous wars in the 15 years he kept Luke, because he's Joel Edgerton when Luke Skywalker comes home as a baby, and 15 years later he's that guy, and he must have gone through 3 or 4 COVIDs. it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Like 5 financial depressions. The farm gets burnt down. Like
By
that-
episode 4, he's the ripe age of a Sith apprentice.
That's exactly right. The 15 years is 1,000 years. Like that is the roughest 15-year stretch. It's like, you know how the presidents look way older 8 years later. It's like he was U.S. president for 15 straight years. It's tough. He is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Joe Edgerton, and then 15 years later, he's that guy. So God bless him out there.
We did it, everybody. Congratulations. Star Wars 1 through 6 in the books. Stan, anything else to say?
No, that's it. I think it's a good 6, a good stopping point, and then we got 5 more. We got Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Solo, and Rise of Skywalker. So this
Coming 2025.
2025.
That's right.
That's right.
Stuff for start of the week. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Keith. And I called in for that to make sure I got that right. It's Keith. I'll do it one more time for you, Brandon.
Sure.
Keith.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Are you?
Ring, 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 ring.
Are we gonna get copyright on this?
Nope.
You sure? What about Baby Beluga? Can you throw that one out there for me?
I'm done.
Okay. Keith, why are you the star of the week?
I wrote banana phone.
You did. You wrote it for DJ
wow.
Rafi. What's his name? Not that guy. Who's the guy that wrote Baby Beluga and all the hits.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Dr. Oz.
I wrote him. I was his what's it called when you
apprentice?
No.
You were a songwriter. Ghostwriter?
Ghostwriter, that's it.
You were his ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter to the sky.
Okay. For banana phone.
For banana phone.
Wow. You know any other lyrics to it?
I'm so delicious. It's so nutritious. Get together and sing. All together now. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Thank you so much. Star of the week, everybody. That is the reason Ryan didn't. Yeah. Keith, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Ryan didn't chime in because he all right, okay. Ryan didn't chime in because he doesn't have kids and hasn't had to listen to Banana Phone. But yeah.
I
One
say we
more
keep
for
it going.
everybody.
I say we keep it going until we say goodbye. No?
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We'll be back in the new year with more Star Wars. We'll be back next time with another one. Until then, may the first to wish you Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.